There we go. All right, now we're
Okay,
officially
ready? Are we
live.
live?
We are live now.
Yay! Okay, hi everyone. Sorry we got on a little bit late. I'm going to go ahead and hit record. Chris, or do we need to hit record yet on
Yeah,
QuickTime?
go for it. Actually, I need
Okay.
to hit record. I don't even have that open yet.
Yeah, hit record. Get it open.
Mm-mm.
Here we go.
Well, no, that is not how you spell QuickTime.
Did you spell it with a KW?
I put a T at the end of quick. Don't know how that happened.
Oh, are you ready to quit? Is it quitting time?
Quicket.
Oh, here's my husband. Look, Matt's here. Does anyone want to say hi to Matt? Come here. We just hit record. Well, actually, we just hit record, but that's Matt. Look, isn't he so handsome? And he's gone.
Okay. This is what happens when you don't record for a very long time. Because it's been a month since we've done on our computers. So we had that one break in the middle where we were all recording together in person. So
Yeah.
excuse me, are you texting on our live stream? Is that
Yes,
what's
I
happening?
am.
Is that what's happening?
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm hitting record. I have recorded on QuickTime. I have Discord pulled up.
Let me see. Make sure the browser window shows up.
On
There
a
we go.
Teams call and listening to y'all. When I saw Scroggy Mama say on a Teams call and listening to y'all, I thought she said my Teams call is listening to y'all. Like she's broadcasting it to her company's Teams call. I was like, you shouldn't do that. They don't
She
want
wants
to
to keep
hear
her.
us.
If you want to keep your job, please don't do that.
Oh,
She said, "Oh
gosh.
Lord."
It'd be funny. We won't tell anyone. I would get fired.
100%. They're like, "What is this nonsense? You're supposed to be working
That
here
would
for
be a really good awkward story.
how I got fired."
Let me close my doors since people are home now.
All right. Let me see here. Yeah, we have a video call for today. So that's one of the things I was trying to fix, so that make sure it actually worked. We recorded this in person while we were at
that's
Podcast
right.
Movement. And that's where we got our awkward story for this week.
I love it. Okay, you ready?
All right. So you're kicking things off, right? Did you?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Here we go. Okay.
Oh, wait, hold
Chris,
on.
you already know
Let me
this
make sure
story.
everything's
So.
recorded, right? I'm so paranoid. Like, am
I'm
missing
recording.
something?
I've been recording for 2 minutes. We need a clap. Remember,
Yeah,
we do
see?
a clap?
Yeah, I knew something was missing. I knew it. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, clap.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Now you can take it away.
Okay, here we go. A couple years ago, our family went to Canada to just travel across Banff, and we ended up going to Vancouver. And this was the first big trip that we took as a family on an airplane since our kids were little. So my oldest son, he was maybe 9 at the time. He was very excited about going on the airplane for this long 5-hour flight. So beforehand, I did my due diligence as a American and a mother. I said, listen, you do not take water or liquids in your backpack. We had water bottles, but I went to the extent of making sure they were empty so we could fill them in once we got through security. So fast forward, we go through security. I was so excited because my bag made it through, but my son Evan, his backpack got flagged and pulled off to the side. And I looked at him just immediately and he said, I have no water, I promise. And I was like, well, what is it? He said, I have no idea. I don't know what it is at all. The woman, the TSA agent, pulls over his backpack and pulls out not one, not two, but 3 knives that he had in his backpack. Hey, this is Allison.
And this is Chris, and you're listening to This Is Awkward. And I mean, look, he didn't bring water on the plane.
No.
You did not specifically say he could not bring knives. And I got to say, that's on you. Like, I mean, you had to give him the full rundown. He didn't go to the TSA website. You should have said no water and no knives, please.
Did I need to say like no explosives? Should I have told him that too?
I mean, yeah. He doesn't know he's a child. Come on.
I want to let everyone know that these were, what are they? Whittling knives. They were pocket knives. And he said, his reaction was, I was gonna whittle in Canada. We're going to this national forest. I was gonna whittle. I was like, oh my gosh. So his like really nice knives that he got as like birthday gifts from grandparents and stuff that he, you know, used to whittle sticks and pencils in our house got taken up.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Is why? Well, first it was like, that was your fault, Allison. You did not run through the full like banned item list. But then number two, why? Why did he have knives? Was gonna be my follow up question.
Yes. Well, we're a very outdoorsy family. We don't now, I will say we don't have guns. We don't believe in guns,
I
but
mean, that would have been. You
that
guys
would have
probably
been
would have not made
really
your
good.
trip if that's what was in his bag.
Yeah, right? Or like if he brought like a BB gun or something, that could have been bad. So thankfully it was just knives. And I don't remember who I was telling the story to. I'm really hoping I have not told it on the podcast yet. But I asked the TSA agent, like, what do they do with these things? What do they do with the things that they take up? And she was like, I have no idea. Lies, lies.
Oh
I
wait,
had a conversation. No, I had a conversation with someone. I was telling them this story, and they were like, oh, I dated someone who was a TSA agent. The TSA agents who have been there long enough get to like first pick of the stuff. And
that's what's happening. Like they have to be
yeah,
taking this stuff.
they are. Absolutely. So that's what happens, unfortunately.
This that reminded me of because I was in Atlanta not that long ago, and then it's like a massive airport. I don't know. It's like I think it's the biggest airport in the world, or at least in the U.S. for sure.
Really?
And I found someone told me that there's a documentary online or like on Peacock about the Atlanta airport. And it's the inner workings of this giant airport.
Ooh.
And I go and watch it, and they said like the TSA takes like basically one gun a day out of people's bags at that airport. It's like just short of one gun a day is getting confiscated out of people's
Is
luggage.
it
And I'm like,
it
are you kidding me?
is it just people that like are unaware they have a gun? Like they forgot they
No,
had a
no,
gun in
no. They
there?
brought it on purpose. They were like, "Oh, I have a gun. I have like my what is it? A gun license. I
Oh,
can
gun permit,
get permit.
like a
I could bring my
holding.
gun.
What's it called? A holding handheld
The carry permit
gun
or whatever."
permit. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was, and they said like I think of the guns they confiscate, they said like the majority of them are loaded, like there's bullets in them, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
It
Come
is the
on.
South.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. It's like bringing a pencil. Like I'm like, oh, let me bring a pen with me just in case I might need to write something. Let me bring my gun in case I might need to gun
Yeah.
something. But yeah, it was
Wow. Oh
facts
my
I
gosh.
probably didn't want to know about the airport. Like I didn't want to know that specific piece of information about the
Yeah.
airport.
I'm not going to watch that documentary, but I will say I felt like a bad mom. Like in that moment, I'm standing there and there's this like young TSA agent just pulling knives out of my son's backpack. And I'm like, this is not a reflection on me. Okay. This is a reflection on him
You're on
or
the
his
list now.
father,
You and your whole
not me.
family are gonna get you're flagged every time you go to the airport. You're like, I don't know why we get pulled out of the TSA line every time we fly. I don't know why this is.
Oh my gosh. It was bad. It was bad.
Well, that was very awkward, I'm sure, for all of you. Your very confused son is like, why I can't bring my whittling knives. But you know what? This is what we do on This Is Awkward. We cover your awkward, specifically money stories to help you hopefully get through them without losing your friends and family along the way.
And if you have an awkward money story, you can call in and share it with us, and we'll actually play it on our podcast. The number is 707 200 8259. You don't even have to tell us your name. It can be completely anonymous. And then you get to be on our podcast. Or if you're like, that's a little bit too much, you can go to awkwardpodcast.com where you can send us like a written story, or you can actually send us a voice memo there that as well. But today's exciting because we don't have a written story. We
Mm-mm.
don't have just an audio only call in story.
Nope.
We have tell them, Chris.
We have a video, an in-person awkward story that we collected while we were at Podcast Movement. So we were out there, we recorded some stuff, and there are these two women who we interviewed. They just had so much energy. They had great energy, and one of them
They were
was
young.
like, "I have an awkward story." And we were like, "Would you mind us recording this on camera?" She was like, "Yeah, go for it. I don't care." So that is where our awkward story is coming from today.
Yes. And of course, we do need you to know that this is able to happen because of your support. And you can support us at Patreon. You can join the This Is Awkward family. Right now, we have Scroggy Mama, Angie, Logan hanging out with us live as we're recording. Chris, tell them what else we have with Patreon.
Yeah, so first of all, you get an ad-free feed. So, you listen to the podcast, we got ads in there. You're like, you know what? I'd rather just not. If you become a patron, you don't have to listen to that. And also, if you catch us live, you probably see this. But if you don't, we're recording things during those breaks as well between segments. So you get that in your podcast feed. You get at least 2 bonus episodes every month. That's where What I'm Loving has moved over to. You get access to a private Discord channels. And on top of that, it starts at $3 a month, but there's also a 7-day free trial. So if you're like, I don't know, what do you guys got going on behind that paywall? Go in there for a whole week. You just go, look, we don't care. If you want to spend a week listening to everything in there, go for it. But 7 days, do whatever you want. And if you like it, you can stick around and keep joining us.
Yeah, we hope you do. And if you're interested, go to patreon.com/This Is Awkward Podcast or click the link in our show notes. You can get there as well. But we will be back after a quick break.
Boom. We're at the break.
Wait, were we supposed to talk about these new Patreon members here?
Oh, yeah. We're going to give them a shout out.
But let's give them a shout out during our shout out too.
Yeah, we'll just move to the end because we have 3 new patrons. Isn't in the break, but shout out to Nico, Debt Free in West LA. And then the name they put was My. Capital M, capital Y. I cannot figure out who that is. It's private. If you don't put your name, we don't know who you are. My, if you're listening to this, thank you for joining us, but we have no idea who you are right now.
It feels like you're missing a word. Like you should be saying my love if you're joining us or something, but no, it's just my. I love it.
Okay, let me move it. I'm going to move it down in the list here so I don't forget about it. All right, there we go. Bam.
Will you bring us back, please?
I will.
It's not my forte.
Yeah, no, not at all. Okay, so we're back from the break, and let's hop into this video call. I'm very excited. Was sitting here before the live stream, making sure that I got the setup right, so hopefully it didn't break in like the 12 minutes since I set this up. Also, if you didn't know, we record live on YouTube. If you go to the Popcorn Finance YouTube channel, you can find our live streams, just in case you didn't know about that. So let's hear from our awkward story. And let me put it at the beginning. There we go.
Hi, my name's Kate, and my awkward money situation is the financial expenses of weddings. I feel like being in my mid-20s, there's a lot of weddings going on right now in my life. I've been asked to be a bridesmaid multiple times, but bridesmaid trips especially are super expensive. Buying the dresses, buying the gifts, having to go to all these obligations, especially when it's a destination wedding, and I would love to know how you guys would recommend I spend my money with all that.
Oh, wait, don't play again. I was going to play a second time. All right, get out of the video. All right, so first of all, I am so happy that she agreed to let us record that because, one, she was very, very kind, just like one of the nicest people we met at the conference, and gave us a great awkward story. So I want to ask you, Allison, because it feels like when it comes to weddings, not one, if you're in the wedding, women hold, a lot of the responsibility of the planning anyways, but even just attending a wedding, it's still more expensive and more prep for a woman to get ready for a wedding than a man. Because, man, you go rent a suit or you may have one in your closet. You just throw that bad boy on, shave your face, and you're good to go. Like, you're not really doing a whole lot of extra stuff. So I want to let you kick it off with, what are your thoughts on the crazy expenses that come with maybe attending a wedding, even being part of, the wedding party?
Yes. I've been a part of, I think, just 3 weddings. I was a bridesmaid, 3 different weddings. And I will say that I agree. There are many more expenses than what meets the eye. Typically, you get your makeup done. One of my weddings that I was a part of, I wasn't getting my makeup done. I was the only one. So at the last minute, I was like, okay, I'll just pay the $100 to get my makeup done because I was the only one. So there's also just this pressure to have your hair, your makeup done, the dress, the shoes. And that's just for the day of. And it gets really, really expensive, like she said. I will say, though, even since I've been married, I got married in 2011. I feel like it's gotten even more out of control. I feel like society has just increased the expectations for how we celebrate marriages, or honestly, just how we celebrate many things, just everything. And I think
it's going on. I gotta stop because this is like the weird thing because on social media has really amped everyone up to where it's like, I don't know if people are just trying to outdo each other or you're trying to be the most creative. But there's all these other events that are tied to the wedding. You can have the engagement party. You can have you have your own individual like bachelor or bachelorette party. You may have like we're gonna take a combined bridal party trip. Oh, we're gonna have the
Mhm.
rehearsal dinner. Oh, maybe we have like a special dinner for family and friends who can't make it. Like, oh, maybe we're gonna go do this post wedding party. Like, it's like there's more and more events that are just like stacking on everything that used to just be like one, maybe two little events tied to something. Now it's,
Mhm.
well, we got to do all this stuff and we got to record it and we got to post it. We got to make content out of it. It's become a whole thing.
Yes. And that it has to be creative and it has to be cute, right? Like, honestly, my rehearsal dinner wasn't cute or creative.
No.
We were at the front end of a Italian restaurant that Matt and I loved to go to when we were dating. We had like one thing, big picture frame of like us as like growing up through the years, like separately, and then our engagement picture, and that was it. There was nothing that was Pinterest worthy or social media worthy. And I feel like that there was not that pressure back then because literally, I mean, I don't even know if Instagram was around then, or if it was, you were only friends with your people that you knew and that was it. So I feel like as a society on a whole, there's all of this increased expectations. And I'm going to say not just with weddings, baby showers,
Mm.
homecoming. I see a lot of like, because my kid's in sixth grade. And so have friends that have older children that are their children are doing these incredible homecoming proposals.
Yeah, like they're
Like,
getting married.
yeah, I'm like, why? I don't understand. Like, what remains special if everything is special? If
Yes.
everything is over the top and special, what is there to look forward to? But regardless, so this isn't just the case with that; it's also the case with vacations and going to Europe, and uh, it's out of this world, out of control. So let's bring it back to
Yeah, I know.
Kate's
Sorry,
situation.
I took us on a tangent because I was just like, it's just gotten out of control. We're just doing too much stuff now at this
It
point.
has. It really has. And I don't know if there's an answer. I mean, obviously, like we can't fix society as a whole in terms of how we set expectations for celebrating life events, right?
Yeah,
We can't.
yeah,
We can't change that. But what we can do is try to, I guess, create boundaries around
mm,
what we choose to participate in and what we don't choose to participate in. And I will say, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm not going to go to this coworker's really fancy, expensive night out versus my best friend who wants me to be there for her by her
yeah.
side on this day. That's totally two different things of saying no to. So I understand how it's hard to say no to some of these expenses when it comes to weddings. What do you think?
Yeah, it is because it's a completely different thing. Like one's just a casual night out or something versus a major life event. And I was okay. The thought that was running through my mind as you were talking was, do you do you think the approach to these situations, like as you're like these events are going to come up in your life. Like I'm happy as I get older, like less of these things come up for me versus when I was in my
Yeah.
20s. But like, do you think that the strategy is, I know I'm going to be subjected to these things. I know it's going to be expensive, and I can't even pre-plan how expensive it's going to be because I don't know what they're going to be asking us to do. Do you take the approach of, I should just have a savings account where I'm just like throwing money in there, like on top of all the other money I got to save for retirement and whatever else I'm trying to do? I got to have an account, just throwing money in there just to be ready for when this stuff pops up. Or do you say, I'm just going to live my life like I normally would, and I'm going to set stronger boundaries on what I'm willing to do, even if that means I'm going to be maybe stuck in some awkward situation where I have to say no to some things that may cause a little friction?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to say the first thing, like set aside a sinking fund. However, here's the deal. Kate is in her mid 20s. She likely has student loan debt. She is likely just recently
Don't
started
put
her
that on her.
career. Well, I'm just saying,
I'm joking. I'm
let's look at a
joking.
majority of people. They graduate from college. They have massive amounts of student loan debt. They're starting out at a beginner salary of something and they're just trying to get by. So then it's almost like it would be better if this was the added expense for like a 40-year-old or a 50-year-old who's a little bit further along in their life and
Yeah.
can manage these types of things that come up. So here's what I say. I say, obviously, try your best to create some sort of sinking fund, like literally open up a second savings account or another savings account and just call it celebration, like your celebration fund for whenever you have to celebrate these other people, knowing that hopefully one day they'll get to celebrate you,
Mm.
and put $50 a month into it. Even if you're like, I have nothing on the horizon, I have nothing in my calendar, don't worry, it's going to happen. Then it can help offset the cost. Another thing I will say I did, because I was a bridesmaid multiple times, every time I was a bridesmaid, it was while we were on our debt-free journey. There was one wedding that Matt, I had to fly to it. Matt just didn't go. We could not afford for both of us to go.
Yeah.
And for, we had a baby at the time, Evan was little. But what that meant was that I was paying for one flight, and I was able to share a hotel room and split the cost of a hotel room with a friend who was also the bridesmaid. So that allowed it to be cut back the cost a little bit. So I would say get creative when it comes to those types of things. I wasn't willing to make the sacrifice of not going to the wedding and not being in the wedding, but I was fine with Matt not going and being there, since I was the one who was close to this person and he really wasn't.
Well, I think that's a good option too, like, especially if you're like in a couple. Like they can definitely save you some money.
Yeah.
I haven't been in the situation. I was like going through my mind, like, okay, of the weddings I've been to, have any of them been like, like extravagant, expensive things? And I think I must just surround myself with people who kind of like think like me as far as like how we spend money, because I can't even think about like any of my friends, any coworkers, like everyone I've gone to their wedding. It's just been like they've been nice. They've all been very nice weddings, but they've been like low key. I wasn't asked to spend some crazy amount of money. There weren't like 12 parties attached to it. It was just very straightforward. I think we're all my friends, we're all in a similar income bracket. I think that's what it is. So none of us were like independently wealthy or come from like families that have money, could just put on this extravagant event to pay for extra things. So we all were working in the same budgets. So it made it very easy. So if you have any rich friends, I say drop them or become rich yourself.
No, hold on. You know Amanda, my best friend Amanda.
Yeah.
Her wedding was this extravagant, incredible event. And they spent a lot of money on this wedding. I will say, though, one of the things that they did is that they, for the night of the rehearsal dinner and the night of the wedding, they paid for the entire wedding party and everyone's associated hotel room.
Ooh.
So maybe if you have someone that's like a rich friend and you're there, maybe that'll help out with the cost. I don't know. So that was one thing that was amazing that they did. And then I think for her bachelorette party, they went to Vegas. I was 8 months pregnant, so I didn't go.
That's a great excuse to get out of it.
I didn't. I was really sad to miss it. But I think that they paid for everyone's flights or everyone's hotels and like food and stuff there too, I want to say.
See, this is why I like Amanda. I've talked to your friend before. She's amazing. I can tell. Look, see, this is what I expect from someone that amazing. Because to me, I don't know if this is controversial to say this, but if you're having a wedding and you want to do expensive things that you expect everyone to go to, then you need to pay for it. Like, don't either you're paying for it or don't expect me to pay for it and be mad that I'm not there.
You know what? This is a really good point. Have you read that book, Die with Zero?
No, but you told us about it, I think.
I read it, and in the book, he's talking about how he wanted to throw this really big party for, I don't remember if it was his 40th birthday or his 50th birthday, and he wanted to basically do like a destination birthday party, not a destination wedding, a destination birthday party, and he realized, hey, if I'm going to do this, some of my friends, some of the people who I really want to be here, I know they can't afford it, and so he chose to cover the cost for certain people. He did. And he says, like, I would much rather cover the cost because he had enough money to do that. He's this, rich guy, and have them be there rather than them not be able to go. So it's almost like looking at it like that is I think it's so beautiful. But obviously when you're in your 20s, that might not even be crossing your mind.
Oh yeah.
Like that, just the idea of it. So back to Kate. I want to bring us.
Wait, I know we're going back to Kate. But then also, yes, I'm still standing by. If you want people to do expensive stuff, either you pay for it or you let them out of it without any guilt. That's my opinion. As for anyone listening who might be getting ready to guilt their friends into paying a bunch of money to go on a trip.
Yeah. So what do you think Kate should do? She's getting invited to these weddings, bridesmaids. Like, how do you have that conversation?
I think because one, like she's kind of getting prepared. Like I think she's doing the right thing by asking these questions now. Like in preparation, I know this is going to come up. How should I be thinking about this? How should I handle this? And I think it's one, setting your boundaries, right? Like understanding what you're willing to do. And that includes like, okay, I'm willing to save money now. You know what? I know I want to do these things. It's going to be important to me and my friends and my family. So I'm going to take the proactive steps of putting money aside now just for this purpose. Like I'm not going to use it for anything else. So if you can afford to do that, I'd say 100%. That's a great way to make sure you can be included in these things. Do your best to estimate it, and which is so hard because you don't know. You have no idea what they're going to ask you to participate in. So I would say, like, to me, I love going on Reddit, and I love going to like when I always throw Reddit on the back end of all my searches because I feel like you get real answers on Reddit. Like some of them are crazy and wild, of course, but you get like real people responding. And so I would do something like, for me, because I've been to a lot of weddings where I've had to pay a lot of money. So if I was like, oh, this is going to be coming up, I'd be like, okay, what's the most or what's like a typical amount you've paid to be a part of a wedding event, like, and I'll put like just throw Reddit at the end of that, and then I will go through and look through some of those posts to kind of get an idea, like, okay, it could be somewhere around this, or even just ask like your friends who've gone to weddings and have had to spend extra money, and then just to kind of give myself a ballpark figure, because in my mind, if I'm like, okay, I'm going to set aside $1,000, in reality, I should have had like $4,000 in an account waiting. I don't want to be so far off because like I did all this work to save and it still wasn't enough. So make sure you're in the range. That's kind of where I would start off. If I'm like Kate, I want to be prepared, I'm being proactive, and I know I want to attend these things. That's where I would start with kind of getting ready for all of this.
I love it. And then what I would say is decide what you want to participate in and what you don't want to participate in.
Oh,
And
that's
what you
good.
do want to participate in, find out ways to cut costs. So whether you are going on a bachelorette party and you say, hey, like when we went on my bachelorette party, it was 5 girls in one room. And that helps cut the cost of a hotel room in Vegas. So find ways to cut costs on travel, on hotels, even for the wedding. I mean, typically you don't get a choice on, if you're a bridesmaid, especially, you
Yeah,
don't get a choice on the dress you wear. But I was in a wedding once where I didn't get a choice on the dress I wore, but I got to choose my shoes. And you better believe I went to Payless
hey,
and I got some black heels that I was probably never going to wear again, or I wore once or twice because I didn't have money to go drop $70 on some really nice shoes for this wedding that were this certain black color. So
exactly.
think about what you can control. Try to do your own makeup, try to do your own hair. I would even go as far as saying, if you do go to a lot of weddings, have a friend that you can like shop their closet for dresses. Like
Oh, that's a
not if
great
you're a
idea.
bridesmaid, but if you're attending. If you're attending a wedding, say, "Hey, I have a friend, she's around the same size as me. Like we're not going to all the same weddings. Can I go and wear some of your dresses? You wear some of my dresses." It's kind of like Rent the Runway, but you're not renting expensive dresses and you pay no money for it. You can do the same thing with shoes. I've like borrowed shoes from a friend for a photo shoot once. I didn't want to go out and buy heels for one time photo shoot. So she was like, come to my closet and just shop my shoes basically. So I would say to get creative, you can do that with jewelry, with dresses, with shoes. Go in as much as you can on splitting costs. And then I honestly think like even if you want to go in on a gift with someone, if it's
Mm,
two bridesmaids that maybe they're not with partners, they don't have spouses or partners that they're with, why not go in on a gift together?
I
I mean,
agree.
is it really like, and keep it simple and keep it small as well. Like, don't feel like you have to spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars on gifts.
Yeah, because I think like for me, like from the perspective of like the person like getting married, I'd rather get like instead of two gifts that were like, understanding people got budget restrictions, like so two gifts that like maybe like are cheaper that they could just, this just fit within their budget versus one more meaningful gift that they can come together and buy together. I would be like, oh, I'll choose that option. Like I would prefer
Yeah,
that over a lot of cheap gifts, maybe like one or two like really nice things that I can
exactly.
use. And when you're talking about the clothing
Exactly.
thing, I thought what I thought of immediately was like my friend, well, the people I grew up with, my friends. None of us were the same size. Like all of us were completely different heights, weights, widths, sizes. Like everyone we were like, so there was no sharing clothes between any of us. That was not a possibility. But I have
I
noticed
don't
like
think guys do that though.
they don't really either. Like I can't think of maybe shoes, but I don't even know that. I've never borrowed a piece of clothing from anyone I know. But it's
You
always weird when I see
haven't?
those.
Oh.
those friends, like we see groups of friends, and I'm like, why are these people all the same size? Like there's like 8 people standing here, and they're all the exact same like person build wise.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess if you're one of those groups and you all could just swap clothes, then it'll be easy.
Yeah. So
But let me throw up this
those are
comment.
my tips.
This came in from
Oh.
ADHD Phi Life. Said Erin Lowry has a great series on things like this. Her book Broke Millennial Talks Money helps with this exact conversation plus more. Great book, and I think I actually have that. Here it is.
Yeah, I think I
Boom.
have it too, actually.
Maybe
I have
over
mine up there. Do you see my green copy up there?
Oh yeah, there we go. Broke Millennial
I
Talks
have mine
Money.
too.
Erin Lowry. This is part of her series. I think I have all 3, but I think I just have these 2 here. So her first one was just called Broke Millennial. And then she has Broke Millennial Talks Money, which is, I believe, her second one. And then her third one was Broke Millennial Talks Investing. So Erin's a great person. I've had her on the podcast a few times. But if you're looking for a good book series that kind of breaks down stuff like that, boom, here you go. You got a good recommendation. Thanks, ADHD 5 Life. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Kate, I hope this helps you just find ways to either learn how to say no and figure out what you want to go to. And then also, if you choose to participate, you don't have to go to every single thing.
Yes.
And then I think also being honest, just saying like, hey, I want to support you. I want to be there for you. As you know, I'm in my 20s like you. I have a lot of student loan debt, so I won't be able to attend everything due to my budget and costs, but I will come to as much as I possibly can. And when I'm there, I promise I'll be 100% present. I think being able to say something like that and then find ways to cut back, borrow as much as you can to make it cheaper.
Yeah, no, I agree. So
Yeah.
again.
And a final tip.
Oh, go for it. Are you going to read the comment?
Final tip. Yeah, I was like, you go ahead and read it. One final tip to wrap it up.
From, I don't know how this is, I think, La Educada. I just, like my Spanish reading there, I don't even know if that's in Spanish. I just don't have friends. Their recommendation is, I just don't have friends or pick fights before the wedding. Great cost savings. So I mean, just saying, if you're like, hey, I don't want to go to any of this stuff, boom, there you go. This is your perfect way to get out of this. Just to make sure you don't have any friends around wedding season. Spring, summer, get them people out of there. Become friends again like around fall. Get rid of them during Christmas. No Christmas gifts. Hop back in like February. You can rotate it around.
Do you give Christmas gifts to your friends?
No, actually
Like
not
your
really.
friend group? Do y'all give gifts? Because I don't give gifts to my friends.
I don't. You know, it depends. It's very random and sporadic when we choose to give gifts to each other. But I say we have no real obligation. Like most of our lives, like as friends, like we never did. And then as we got older, every now and then we might like pass a gift back and forth. But it's kind of like we're just
What
passing
about
the same money.
family? Sorry, this is like totally
I know.
random.
We're going to take this to the break. After After Scroggy Mama said Chris created that a new username. That was his comment. Oh, wait, we're gonna take a quick break, and we come back. We'll hop into our listener shout out. All right, so
okay, I think we should talk about this on our Patreon episode.
Can
we
yeah,
talk
okay.
about gift giving on our Patreon episode?
Yes, we'll save it for that. Perfect.
Okay,
perfect.
Because I think this would be a really good conversation.
And then let's see.
Okay.
While we're on break, I'm gonna look at this last comment. In reality, I have one dress that I go to every event. Go to every event in. I spent an arm and a leg on it, and I'm getting my money's worth out of that thing.
Yeah,
hey, that's the way to do it.
The way to
you don't gotta be coming out like you're on a runway with a new outfit for every event. Like nobody cares.
No.
I think this is a perfect way to do it.
When when you get older, you just go to less of these. There's not as many of them.
I mean, the fact that I don't have to go to weddings, graduations, it's been so nice. I'm like,
I don't know the last wedding. We did get invited to a wedding of one of Matt's former students.
oh wow.
And we can't go. I don't remember why. We're out of town or something's happening it's over Thanksgiving.
Oh,
And we'll be in Colorado for Thanksgiving. That's right.
That's a weird time to have a wedding during Thanksgiving.
It's like over one of the weekends.
Oh, so not
it's
on like
either the
Thanksgiving.
weekend- no, it's
Okay.
either the weekend before or the weekend after. I think it's the weekend after Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving's on a Thursday. I think it's like a Saturday, and we're gonna be like flying back or out of town or something. There's and it's in Dallas. We had to drive several hours. So, but I don't even remember the last wedding I've been to, honestly.
That is a really good question. I'm trying to think. It's been years since I've been to a wedding. My brother's wedding was the last wedding I went to, and that was 3 years ago. Yeah, something like 2 or 3 years ago.
2020?
I think it was 2021 is the last wedding I went
Okay.
to. And that was a nice low. It was like,
Yeah.
during the pandemic. So it was like in his wife's sister's backyard. It was very low key. So it was like a lot easier. Like I rented a
That's the way
tux.
they should be. I wish weddings were like that now. You went to Albert's wedding.
Oh yeah, when was Albert's wedding? I forgot about that. Okay, let me tell you about this.
It was like 4 weeks ago.
Albert 4 weeks ago. I don't know when this was, but it was in Pasadena. I don't know if do you know where Pasadena? Have you heard of Pasadena, the city in California?
Yes, I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is in relation to where you are.
So it's like north of LA, like by like at the we have like those
And
mountains.
you're like south of LA.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like below LAX,
You're like south.
like near the
Yes,
beach.
I know
area.
where you are.
This is like
Yeah.
far north. Like in reality, it's probably only like 30 miles from here, but it's like really like an hour and a half of driving to get over there.
Yeah.
But it was like in this, though Pasadena, there's parts of it where like this like some of the richest people live, and they have these massive houses. And this was in like a private house. They had like they would use like the front and the back of the house, and then they had like a pool house. And it was this house. I was like, "Ugh, you know what? I don't have aspirations to be rich, but seeing this house, I was like, if it gives me this, maybe I want to be a little rich. I want to be whatever rich gets me this house. This is what I want now. But it was, oh man, it was a
love
beautiful property.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'll bring us back.
Okay,
Ready?
perfect.
We're
All
gonna
right,
try
let me-
this. Here we go.
hold on. Oh yeah, I don't have to do anything. What am I thinking? Okay, go for it.
No. Okay. We're back from the break for Chris, one of your favorite segments, the listener shout out. Why don't you take it away?
Oh yeah, okay. So listener shout out today we got a couple of things we're shouting out. So number one, we always love to shout out our anniversaries for our patrons. So Andrea, please let me. Hopefully, I'm saying your name correctly. Please correct me if I'm not. So, Andrea hit 1 year of supporting us here on This Is Awkward on our Patreon. We just really appreciate it. I mean, it's just you help us keep the show running, to pay the bills, to make sure we can get this thing edited and posted up for everyone to listen. So we really, really appreciate the support and that you stuck with us for a whole year. That's a long time to be listening to us and continuing to join us. So we really, really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, Andrea, and happy birthday or anniversary. I don't know which one we're going to say, but a little bit of both.
Happy
birthday anniversary.
Yeah. And then shout out to our 3 new patrons. We have Nico, Debt Free in West LA, who both Nico and Debt Free in West LA have been long listeners of the podcast. And also I see them a lot over on the Popcorn Finance side too. So I appreciate them. And then we have someone who goes by M-Y. That's all they put as a name. I don't know who this is because I can't, if you don't put your name, I can't see who you are. So whoever you are, thank you. We appreciate you joining us.
Yes, and of course, if you're like, hey, I want to get in on this, I want to learn more about how to be a patron, what it entails, kind of get with you behind the scenes of the podcast, then come join us. Starts at $3 a month. You can go to patreon.com/This Is Awkward Podcast. You get no ads. You can join our private Discord community, join us live for recordings. It's really fun.
Yeah, well, it's just such a fun group of people we have in here. We appreciate you all being so active. And Eric, in our Discord, we've been talking about travel hacking. We've been talking about Allison's audiobook. We've been having some really good conversations in there. So I really appreciate you all being in there. And our comment from La Ducata is Debt Free in West LA. So hey, welcome. She's been here with us live all this time. Didn't even realize that was her. All right.
Well, thank you for joining us for another episode. And I guess we'll be back next week.
Probably. We clearly haven't talked about the next day, but we will post it in Discord and Patreon when we are going to be doing our next live stream. So you can join us in whenever we put that up. So we'll see you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, but hold on. We're about everyone else. We're going to do another episode. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
We're about to record another episode, a Patreon episode. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. We're here to stay.
Don't you dare leave.
Did you have a thing pulled up for Ain't No Way or no? Do we need one of those?
I don't think so. I wouldn't have time. I have a meeting I have to go to at 12 in like 30 minutes. I think I only have time to do one more anyways.
Okay, so let's just do one more. Let's do Patreon and let's start it now. I want to talk about holidays.
Okay, here we go.
Chris, welcome to our
I
holiday
didn't know who was
edition.
open. I was like, I don't know
am.
who's talking right now. It's you? Okay.
Welcome to our holiday edition of This is Awkward Patreon. I don't know if it's just me. I'm thinking about the holidays. What happened to your video?
My camera died. Hold on. You keep talking. I'm
Oh,
gonna go fix it.
okay. Okay. I don't know if it's me, but it's around, I don't know. The day we're recording this is September 27th. Like, the holidays are on my mind. Now, I don't know if I'm normal. In fact, I want patron listeners, please tell me if I'm normal. Are I don't know if they're on my mind because I'm a personal finance person. So I think about it in the sense of like, I need to remind the people that are in my membership and on my blog and in my personal podcast, like, I need to be talking about it so it's on their mind. Or I don't know if it's on my mind because it's on everyone's mind right now. But the holidays are on my mind specifically in terms of paying for the holidays. So Scroggy Mama says, yes. Is that to me? Scroggy Mama, are they on your mind too? Oh no, that was from a previous comment. But regardless, it's on my mind, specifically the cost factor, because for my entire working career, I didn't receive like Christmas bonuses. Christmas bonuses were never a thing.
No, I've
And I
never
was
gotten
always
one.
really okay. Okay. So I don't know if this is like a corporate America thing, but I want to know if you're listening now in the Discord chat somewhere in the comments, please tell me if you get a Christmas bonus because they were never, or holiday bonus, December bonus, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if this is a corporate America thing, but I was always so jealous of people who got a Christmas bonus and could just in one fell swoop buy all of like pay for all of their Christmas gifts. Like I had a
Yeah,
friend whose husband used to get like a $4,000 bonus every Christmas. And it's like, well, there you have it.
that almost felt like a movie thing, like real people, like happens in the movies and TV shows. Like, oh, I'm sorry, Jimmy, your dad didn't get a Christmas bonus this year. Looks like we're not
Oh,
gonna have Christmas. I felt like I never knew anyone in real life who got one of those.
I've I've known people. I've known people. Okay, so Debt Free in West LA says I get a lot of overtime, a crap ton of overtime, so more work, but also more money. See, that's not that. I don't see that as a Christmas bonus. You put in work. You actually worked for that. Well, I guess people with bonuses work for it too. Maybe I don't know. It's usually like some sort of profit sharing or something.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right?
Or
It's like it's them saying like, oh, thanks everyone. Here's a little bit of this extra money we made at the end of the
yeah.
year. Oh, here we go.
Okay,
And
so
you want to read Angie's
yes,
comment?
you read Angie. You read it.
Angie said, my dad always did, and my hubby did. I used to get a bonus in September. Then they decided we would move it to December for a Christmas type bonus. Except last year they were delayed, and we didn't get it until March. But they were real late
Oh
on that one.
man, for
3
real.
months.
Yeah, and then Scroggy Mama says she got one a long time ago. But my thing is, when it comes to paying for Christmas, it is so stressful.
Oh yeah.
If you do not like, to me, unless you're getting like you can count on that Christmas bonus or some sort of year-end bonus, or if you've saved in advance, it is so stressful. And I've actually only had 1 year in my adult life where I was not strategically saving for Christmas in advance. And that
Wait,
was
only
the
one
year
year
that
where you didn't?
I did not. It
Oh
was the
wow.
first year. It was 2011. Matt and I had just gotten married. We were pregnant. And I remember it coming to Christmas and we're like trying to pay off debt. We're trying to save money. And I remember being like, I have to buy all these family members gifts. Like I was not prepared. And we were teachers. We didn't get any bonuses. So I remember budgeting. Are you ready for this? $10 a person. I was that
Hey,
person.
you got to
And
do what you
the
got to do.
parents were one unit. The parents were one unit.
Here's
So it was
$5
like
Starbucks gift card for each of you. Bam,
$10.
bam.
No, I think maybe it was $20. I ended up getting them a canvas print from like Shutterfly. I think I probably got a Black Friday deal from our wedding for each,
Shutterfly comes through in
parent
the clutch.
set.
Like companies like that with those type of like photo gifts, those are
Uh,
nice. You always find a
yeah.
coupon code for those.
Exactly. And then I think I, did something simple. And then like Matt and I didn't give each other gifts because we just didn't have any money. And that was the first year I was like,
Mm.
I'm not doing this again because I was so stressed. So that 2012 was when we started setting aside $50 a month for Christmas savings. But now we've upped it now that we don't have any debt payments and all of those things. But I will say that I want to know the details of the gift giving in different people's families.
Yes.
Like people who have large families versus people with smaller families. I want to know what the rules are around who you give gifts to. I think it's
Oh,
fascinating.
do you want me to hop in and start kick us off here?
Yeah, you go
So
first.
for
And then I
me,
want to hear in our Patreon too about
yes,
it,
yes.
like our
All of you,
Discord.
let us know. Let us know on YouTube, Patreon, what you're doing. For me, I do budget. I think I budget like $50 a person, and I always like say I'm just what I'm gonna do, and it probably never happens that way. But that's what I
How
aim
many
for.
people?
So I do my immediate
Who do
family.
you?
So like obviously like my parents, my brother, and then I have my sister-in-law. I have a niece now, and then I have an aunt and my cousin, her son. That they always come over for Christmas. I always include them, and then another aunt who's
Do they
always
get
there as well.
$50 too?
Yeah, so I do the same
Or do
across the
you
board.
lower the amount?
No, same for everybody. And the only time I like if there's something specifically I want to get for someone that I know they really want, then I'll deviate a little bit. I'm like, okay, this is something I know that they would really want, so I'll up it a little bit to make sure that they kind of get something that they're gonna want versus some
Okay.
random thing that I go out and find. So that's kind of how I budget it out. I don't think I'm missing anyone. There may be other people I'm missing as I'm thinking about this.
Okay.
Oh, and then also
So how
like
much do you set aside money every year, every month, or do you just take it out of savings? What do you do?
So I used to be like someone who had like a 12,000 savings account. So like for the most specific purpose, I had an Amazon
did.
Prime savings account. Like, oh no, Amazon Prime is gonna be this much every year, so let me put
No.
aside $6.50
You-
every
It
month.
was. I remember for years, Chris and I have been sharing our personal finances with each other because it's fun to like have someone that you can trust and talk to about this kind of stuff outside of your family. And I remember you showing me like a list of all of your accounts. I was like, "This is ridiculous.
It was
Like, why don't
overboard.
you just pay it when it comes out?" So you no longer do that.
Yeah, now I used to have like a birthday account and then a Christmas account. It's like, oh, all the birthday money goes here, all the Christmas stuff, and I would do that. And I was like, now they're just one big account, and I just have I gotta go look, but I want to say I don't know, maybe let's say $100 a month is going into that account.
Okay.
And then that way, whenever a birthday pops up or Christmas comes around, I just pull it from there and then I use it to buy the gifts, and it keeps it nice and simple. And the only time I'm like a little stressed out, I'm like, oh, in the beginning of the year, if too many birthdays pile up, I'm like, oh no, this 100 a month isn't isn't covering these gifts that I gotta go out and buy. But that's typically how I do it because I like not having to think about it, like because I'm gonna stress over. Oh no, I gotta buy this gift that I forgot about. I didn't really plan for this. This money's already accounted for. Oh no, I gotta go dip into my like main savings for this. I hate that feeling, so that's how I
Yeah.
try to go about it. What about you?
What about growing up? No, I want to know
Oh.
growing up. Did
Growing
y'all
up.
give gifts to every person, like all your aunts and uncles? Like, did every grandchild get a gift? Were you in a big family?
No,
Like,
I
I'm
have
just curious.
so my family overall is big, but my dad's side of the family lives in a whole different state. They're all in Arkansas, so we never saw them during the holidays, so that never factored in.
Oh,
My,
y'all never gave gifts.
Yeah, so no, we never gave them gifts because they were just far away. So it was they just did their thing, we did our thing. My mom's side of the family, they don't really get together, all of them like that. There's times where they kind of
Okay.
got together, but there's a lot of times where they didn't. But I think it really mainly kind of kept to like the main, like each family kind of did their own thing. But my mom, I can only speak for my mom because I don't really remember what everyone else was doing. But my mom would buy all of the like kids something. So like all my cousins would get a gift from her. And I think she gave like all of her sisters gifts as well, and her brothers. Like she would handle all that. So she was, but here's the thing. That is my mom's thing. She loves giving gifts. She always
Yes,
like that's her
I
thing.
know
She would
that.
bust out the wrapping paper, and it would be like a whole ordeal of her wrapping gifts. I think that's why I'm really good at wrapping gifts. It's because that's what she every year that was like a big deal. Like her pulling out the wrapping paper and doing her thing. So I learned how to like do like the little crisp edges and the folds and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So yeah, that was her thing. But she was 100%. The weeks it was like it became annoying. Like leading up to Christmas. Do you want to see your gift? Do you want to know what I got you? Do you want to know? Do you want to take a look? If you want to just look real quick, you can't play with it, but you want to see it. I'm like, no, I don't. If I can't play with it, do not show me this because I'm gonna want to play with this and I'm gonna be angry that I can't. So that every year,
Oh my gosh.
she couldn't hold it. She could not hold back. She was so excited to give us the gifts that she had to like spoil. She would like spoil like half of the gifts by the time Christmas came
Aw.
around.
See, I do that with like Matt. I'll spoil Matt's gifts, but I won't spoil my kids' gifts.
She can't. She has no chill. She cannot
That's
relax.
funny. Oh
She's
my gosh.
hyped to the
Oh.
max.
Mama Browning, I love her.
Yeah. So
Okay,
what about
so
you?
I like Scroggy Mama. Well,
Oh,
Scroggy Mama just said we had a sock exchange for the large family Christmas gatherings. We all have big feet, so it worked. And I really like that idea. No, like
yeah.
I really like that idea because it's something that everyone can use. It's not very expensive. I like it.
Exactly. And
I like
maybe
that
you'll
idea
get
a
like a nicer pair of socks than you would buy for yourself. Like I'm not gonna buy
lot.
fancy socks for
Mhm.
myself,
Yeah.
but I can see like buying
Yeah.
someone else a nice pair of socks. And as an adult,
Mhm.
socks seem like the most exciting gift you can get. Like, oh, a nice pair of socks. Like, oh, that would be. Thank you. Whereas like a kid, you're like, what is this crap? I don't want some. I don't want some
I know,
socks.
right? Exactly. My parents would just buy me these anyway. I want something they're not going to get me, right?
But I would love to do a
Um,
sock exchange as an adult.
exactly.
Oh,
And we used to have a panties party for each birthday. Oh my gosh. I feel like this is just like the moms got together and they were like, how can we spread out the cost of buying our kids undergarments?
like we all need it, so let's go spread it out. I like that idea. 'Cause
Oh my
that's
gosh.
fun too because you can get some wild stuff for people.
Oh my gosh, I bet that's fun to open them. Okay, so for our current family, like what we do now is and I don't know, like I want to know if this is weird because you give the same amount for every person. I give the further away you get from our immediate family, the less you get allotted to you.
Yeah, like a scale. Just to get all the way down to like if you're at the bottom, you get like a handshake. Oh, here's a hug.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
yeah, but like I'm serious. Like it's because like we give gifts to teachers. We give gifts,
Mm.
so like the further you get down away, the further out we go from our family's epicenter, the less I will set aside. So
That's
right
fair.
now, I know it's I kind of feel bad about it. Right now we send $150 a month to a Christmas fund. However, as our high yield savings account has accrued interest, I will literally just like move that interest that we made each month into savings, into Christmas. So
Okay,
most of
wait.
the time I put it into Christmas and I'm like,
I
just beef that sucker up.
I do that exact same thing. It's like, well, whatever day my statement ends, I get paid interest. I go to
Yeah.
all the accounts and I was like, here's the interest. I've shifted it over to this one savings account. That's all going to
Mhm.
benefit from everyone else's interest. I do that.
Exactly. So for us, and it really depends on how much we have in savings. So I'll basically look and see, and I'll write out everyone we're going to give to. But our things vary. I'll change it up every year. So we might give for me and Matt, like or for like the kids, we might spend like $200 on them. I think I might bump it up to $300 this year, but it seems so excessive. The issue is as they get
Inflation.
older, it's the issue is as they get older, the stuff becomes more expensive. The stuff they want
Mm.
becomes more expensive. That's the issue. Like when they're
Yeah.
young, you can get, for 3 years straight, my youngest son asked Santa for a stuffed animal every year. That's all he wanted
That's the
was
dream right
one
there.
stuffed animal. So exactly. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So we
Now
do
he's like, I
that.
want you to get a Tesla.
Exactly. And so like from each of our parents, we'll do like $50 for each parent. And then we might bump it down for our siblings to like $30. And then we bump it down a little bit. Well, we only have one nephew. And when they're little, it's really easy to buy something
Oh
for like
yeah.
$20 or $30 that they like. So we do that, but then we'll do like $20 for teachers. I give my housekeepers a cash gift at Christmas. So I'm including like all these things in there. And like we include decorations and if we are doing any like pictures with Santa, which might be ending soon. That's like
Yeah.
50
It seems like they're
bucks.
crossing the age where they're not going to want to go take pictures with Santa anymore.
Well, the oldest one definitely is. So we do different things. But I will say that growing up, it was so interesting because my parents are both one of four children.
Mm.
So on one side of my family, on my mom's side, I have 17 first cousins, like 16 or 17 first cousins.
That's a
And
lot of
so
people.
it is. So, and I grew up with the expectation that I had to buy gifts for family members. Like in
Mm.
elementary school, I had to use my allowance and I had to spend at least $5
Wow.
on my brother, my parents, and my grandparents.
All
And
like all
so
four of them. Every
they could
grandparents.
be combined. So grandma and granddaddy combined. And I mean, grandpa died when I was in second grade. So grandma four. So I
Mm.
had to spend at least $5. To this day, I think I'm the only grandchild, I still give my grandparents a gift every Christmas because it has
$5
just been.
still every Christmas.
No, it's not. It's not. And they have so much stuff. I just give them their favorite Starbucks coffee in like bulk, and they put it in their freezer, and that's what they make their coffee with for like 3 months or something. But anyway, so growing up on my mom's side, you only gave the child only received a gift from their godparent because there
Mm.
was at least one. Every child had one godparent, so you would
And
get
when it was
one.
always a family member.
It was always a family member.
Mm.
So I would receive when we were big family events, I would receive one gift from my grandparents and I would receive one gift from my aunt who was my godparent. And
Mm.
that was it. That's what we got. And then, I'm talking outside. I'm talking like our big family ones. But what's funny is one aunt was notorious for giving terrible gifts. And so, and good thing this is on Patreon, my mom and my other aunt would secretly give each other's daughters a good gift. So we would receive this like really bad gift that no one would
Oh.
want. And then my other aunt would like come over and be like, here's your real gift. And she would like slide over it. And my mom would do the same thing for my other cousin. But it was like so secretive. Like it had to be a secret because you didn't want to offend anyone.
So,
So-
okay, wait. So I need to ask, what made the gift bad? Was it just cheap? Was it just some random thing?
It was like cheap. Like typically what you would get was like a $20 gift card to somewhere, but it might have been like a really ugly purse or like a weird like scrunchie. It was just something.
So she had
that-
bad taste is what it was.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like when you're a teenager, you want a gift card to Starbucks or Target or
Hold on.
wherever, right?
Were you going to Starbucks as a teenager?
Yeah.
I never drank coffee in high school. Like I never went to a Starbucks.
Oh.
That was not a thing
Oh,
at all.
I went. I went. So anyway, but then on my dad's side of the family, everyone gave to everyone. So when we would go over there for Christmas, I would get a present from every single aunt and uncle and my grandparents. Like it was like
It was a free for all in there.
plethora, like a plethora of presents. So I think it's very interesting to see what all these different families do. For our family, for our extended family, we have so few people. I have one nephew, so obviously we give our one nephew a gift, and then like my on my side of the family, my kids are the only grandkids. So my mom spends more money on both of them than I think she would if she had like 5 or 6 grandkids.
That's true. Because families are a lot smaller now than like back in the day. Because like my mom, I think she's one of 7. My dad's one of 9. Like people just we're having a lot of kids back in the day.
Yeah, if only they could all be getting those COVID child checks.
Ooh, can you imagine? We're rich.
So anyway, I just think it's really interesting to see what different families do. But that's what I'm kind of gearing up for and I'm thinking about. Okay. Ooh, this is a good question.
Go ahead, take it.
Okay. So Debt Free in West LA. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Debt Free West LA says, whatever happened to homemade cookies? That's what I do. Pro tip, make biscotti. You don't need anything special and you can make them weeks in advance. Ooh, that is a pro tip.
That is a good one. Like I like that because food is always a welcome gift. And now I think about it, I would do this from time to time. I don't think I did it every holiday at my office, but I typically I really get along with my coworkers, the people I've worked with. And I would like for Mother's Day, I would buy, because here's the thing, I worked in government for years. And for some reason, like I was like one of the only men typically and that worked in the office like every time. And so for like Mother's Day, like pretty much everyone there was a mother. So I would like bring in something for that, or like Christmas, I think it was it the Christmas, or I think it was just right before I left my job. I have you ever had Levain Bakery? They're like those like giant, like thick, crazy cookies they started out in New York and they're kind of like branching out now.
Are those the cookies you sent me?
Oh yes, those are the cookies I sent you. I forgot. Yeah,
I have had those then.
So I
Because
ordered
those
some
were
of those.
crazy thick.
They're ridiculous. Like I'm like, this is like a little
How does
cake.
that even bake through all the way? That's what I'm wondering.
It seems like it would be raw on the inside.
Yeah,
but yeah, that's why when I left, that's why I bought a bunch of those and handed them out. So like to me, I forget about that. Like food based gifts are a really good idea, especially if you can make it yourself. Like that, not only is it way more affordable, but no one's gonna be like, oh no, a cookie, a cake. Like no, everyone loves that.
Exactly. So we make homemade cookies every Christmas. It's like a tradition we do. And growing up, we used to like bring cookies to to our what do you call it? Neighbors and stuff. But I will tell you, as a former teacher, I would receive a lot of candy and chocolate and
Oh
baked goods.
yeah.
It's a really good thing um to give teachers. However, I will say that it was overwhelming,
So
overwhelming.
you got too much stuff.
The amount of stuff I would get, especially in one school district. There was one school district that I worked in, and I would receive so many sweets to the point where I would feel bad throwing it away, so then I would eat it
Yeah.
all and I would get sick. And so my mom would call me on the phone, and my mom is a nutritionist, okay? So my mom is a dietitian, she's a nutritionist, and I would be like, "But they're so good, like these homemade brownies." And my mom would say, "It is poison. Do you want all of that poison in your body? Throw the poison in the trash." She would say that because it was just sitting there, and then it would eventually go bad if you don't eat it. So then you eat it
Mm.
all, and it's like I didn't need all of that poison. So that's what she would say. And then if I got like any random, like I would get lots of coffee mugs. I would get all these random things. I
You
would
probably have
give
like
them.
45 coffee mugs after
Oh,
after the holidays.
I had so much stuff. I would get like those Starbucks mugs with like those things inside.
Oh
I would
yeah.
give them anything that I mean, it was a lot of clutter. It was very sweet. I would give them to my mom, and my mom would use them as prizes in her
Oh, okay.
dialysis clinic because she works in like a low income area. And so, like, if people's like phosphorus levels were a certain set at a certain amount, they could go get a prize. And it would be all of my old things that like people had given me that they were excited to get.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good idea. What
Yeah.
would you recommend then? Like we're approaching holiday season, right? Like when this comes
Okay.
out, it'll be October. Um, what do you recommend for people who are like, I want to give something to my the kid's teacher? Like what's the ideal type of gift to give out?
Oh, a gift card.
Gift
I mean,
card?
obviously, like I would say okay, the ideal actually, what I loved more than gift cards was nice letters.
Mm.
I had this, I kid you not. Oh yeah, a bottle of wine. I did have people give me alcohol. So if you know the person and you know they drink alcohol, I think it is wonderful to give a teacher a bottle of wine. I'm serious here.
But
Like
then what
if
if you end up
you
with like 30 bottles of wine? Are you still okay with
they
that?
don't go bad.
Well, yeah, I
They
guess
don't
it's
go
true.
bad.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. That's wonderful. It's better than brownies that go bad. So
Oh,
if
oh, yeah,
you
Allison, I'm sorry to stop your story, but I have to tell you this. I'm going to forget. I was at Logan's house. We were standing outside talking, and this woman came walking down the street. She was walking her dog, and she had a glass of wine. And he was like, "Oh, look, it's Allison."
Oh, Logan, thanks for thinking of me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look at that.
Oh,
Yep. That's what we do on Halloween. But okay, so for teacher gifts, I give gift cards, but I used to have like a yellow folder. I called it my sunshine folder, and that's why it was yellow, where I would put nice notes from parents whenever I was going through a hard time at
mm,
school or I dealt with a difficult parent. I would open it up and I would read the nice note. So I would say a nice note. I would say a bottle of wine. If you know they drink alcohol, you can email them and say, "Hey, just curious, do you drink alcohol, and if so, what type of wine do you prefer?" You can go to Sprouts and get a nice $7 bottle of wine. Like you really can.
yeah.
Um, and that's cheaper than buying a $10 gift card, really. And so I would say do that. You can't bring it to school though. That's the only thing. You'd have to meet up with them
Oh,
somewhere else because
yeah.
alcohol
Because
is not allowed on campus. So
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
so anytime I received wine, because I have received wine as a teacher before, they would be like, I knew the parent better, like I was maybe friends with them, and they would be like, "I need you to meet me at your car." Like don't tell anyone because you're
It's
not
a drug
allowed.
deal.
Yeah, basically, you're not allowed to have that. But or a wine gift card, like I've received total wine gift cards, but I would say a gift card. Like we have enough post-it notes, we have enough sticky notes. Teachers have enough coffee mugs. I'm serious. You go into Costco and you see those like cute Starbucks mugs
Mm,
filled with the biscotti and all the stuff. I promise you, like most of that gets thrown in the trash. They don't need another coffee mug. I can
yeah.
promise you that. So I would say, some I would say no to like sweets, honestly. Unless it's something that they can put in their pantry for a couple weeks and isn't going to go bad. I would say that. I would say even just like people used to give me poinsettias. I'm like, you're giving me something I'm going to kill. I don't.
It's almost like you have to think like, would this person want 30 of these? Could they use 30 of these items? Because that's
Yes,
probably what's going to happen.
a lot of schools will do like like at the beginning of the year, teachers, a lot of elementary schools will do this. And then once you get in the middle school, they have like 8 teachers, so you choose their favorite
Oh,
teacher and you
yeah.
send them a gift. But a lot of schools will do like teachers' favorite things and they list out like their favorite color and their favorite scent and their favorite. So if you have access to that, you could get a candle. Like I wouldn't
Mm.
say no to a candle in their favorite scent. Or you could get them, they usually list out favorite restaurants, favorite fast food. Like if they really like Chick-fil-A, you can get them a $10 Chick-fil-A gift card. So there are those options. Usually I would do that and I just put my family's Christmas card on there, bam, and
Mm.
call it a day. I found last year when I was cleaning out my son's backpack from 5th grade at the end of the year, I found this school is over. I found the gift, the $20 Target gift card in the Christmas envelope for his reading teacher. I found it. I was like, "You never gave this to Mrs. Zhang?" He's like, "Oh, I guess I forgot." I'm like, "Did you give it to your other 2 teachers?" He's like, "Yeah, I did." And I'm like,
He didn't like that
"Here's
lady.
Miss." Yeah, and they compare. No, he was his favorite teacher. He just forgot. So I used the $20 Target gift card.
You didn't go take it back to her? Wow.
No, she moved schools.
You need to go drive to the lady's school and go give her that
I don't
card.
know where she works. So anyway, that's what I recommend. What are you going to give your niece?
That's a good question. So, I mean, this is her second Christmas. And I don't know. So last Christmas, because I'm like, I know my brother and my sister-in-law, like please don't give her any more toys. Like they're like, our living room is covered in stuff. Like don't give us anything else. And I'm one of those people like I'm gonna listen. Like I understand. So I think I
Yeah.
gave her some books and I forgot what would I give her? I forgot. It was some books and there was something else I don't remember that I ended up giving them. This year she's a little more. She can do more now. She's gonna be 2, like basically 2 by the time Christmas rolls around. So I don't know. I gotta start thinking about it. Like part of me is like, I'm throwing money in that 529 plan. She don't need any more gifts. She's not gonna care. She don't know what's happening. So I'm like,
You should do that, and you should say your gift is I put money in a 529 plan, and I would like to babysit while you guys go out to dinner one night.
man. Or I told them. So like when they went to San Francisco for my brother's birthday, so I was like, here, I'll go with you. So I went and like I babysat for them. They're supposed to go into Boston.
You went with them to San
Yeah,
Francisco?
we all rode up there together, and then I was like, "You guys can go do what you want to do. If you want to go out, like have dinner, drink, whatever, I'll sit here and I'll be the babysitter." So I can they're gonna be going on another trip. Like, hey, yeah, I offered last time. I was like, yeah, I'll be your babysitter. So maybe I'll offer
So you
that. Like,
go with them on their trips.
I mean, look, I'm getting something out of it too. I guess it's not a completely selfless situation. I'm going on a trip, but I mean, I'm not making them pay. They're not paying for me to be there too. But I'm just
Yeah.
coming along and offering
That's
my babysitting
nice.
services.
Oh, where are they going next?
They're supposed to be going to Boston, and I've never been to Boston. And
Oh,
I'm like,
Boston's beautiful.
yeah, because at first
Oh,
they're like, "Hey, would you be open to babysit?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wait, I'll do you one better. How about I just come to Boston and watch her? That way, if you want to, because sometimes you're on a trip and maybe you want your kids for like a certain experience, but you don't want them forever. You want them there for everything you're doing. So I kind of step in, fill in the gaps.
Oh, I love that. When's that?
I don't know, sometime next year at some point.
I was like, please tell me it's in the fall. You need to go in the fall.
No, I think it's like in the winter, so it's probably not gonna be like the ideal time to be there.
Gosh. Oh gosh. Well, I want to wrap it up with ADHD Fi Life said in terms of gifts and stuff. Early Halloween candy, depending on the candy. Early Halloween. I don't know what you're referring to necessarily, but I will say that I take any Halloween candy that is not like Halloween themed, so just regular wrapper candy, and I take some out of my kids' bags every year because they have enough, guys. Okay,
Wow,
it's better for them, and I stick it in a gallon size bag and hide it in my closet, and I put those in stockings on Christmas. That's what I do because of
Hey.
filler stuff.
They don't know. They don't know what's going on.
They don't know, and they get it eventually, so they don't realize it. So I usually do that like the day after Halloween, like when they're at school. I'll go in and I'll get pull out pieces of candy that you can't tell it's yes. See, that's genius. It is, because this is the kind of stuff. These are the ideas that parents have on Christmas Eve, and they're filling all the stockings, and they start saying, "Oh my gosh, do I have enough? Is this like,
Mm.
does this look full enough?" Right? So that's just sitting down there at the bottom, and it's perfect. They are like, "Candy!" Like,
You know
yeah,
what's
you
so
got it
weird?
back.
Like back in the day, people would put oranges in stockings. Can you imagine going Christmas
That's a
morning
European thing, I
and you get an
think. Matt's
orange?
grandma does that.
You get like
She's
you get healthy fruit in your in your
Yes,
stocking.
she does that. Matt's grandma, his Mima, puts fruit under the tree, and she's like, "Go pick up a orange." Like she. So anyway, steal that tip, for just save some of that Halloween candy and put it in the stockings, and then you take more than you think you'll need, and then you can snack on it between Halloween and Christmas. It can be really stressful, so you
Mm.
just like once a week go in there and just I will literally go into my closet alone. I'll close the door. I'll get it down from where it's hiding, and I'll eat some chocolate. So
Life hacks from I was like,
I
look, I was
know.
reading this comment from Allison. Look at that.
So anyway, I'm glad we got to talk about Christmas.
This is good because
Very
like this
important.
is bringing us into the
Holiday.
holiday season because we're here. It is October is what we're recording this on September 28th. I think that's what today's date is, something like that. October is here. Halloween's gonna be here. Then Thanksgiving, then Christmas. So we're in. Like I think we got to do just a series of holiday themed bonus episodes as we run through these
Yeah,
holidays because
it'll be fun.
this
I'm
is the
excited
time.
about it.
This is the season.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Those joining us live, and if you are catching this when it's in the feed, thank you for being a Patreon member.
Yeah.
We
No,
appreciate it.
we really do. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you being here. You make this a lot more fun than us just sitting here,
Mhm.
rambling on by ourselves. So we, it's always great getting to see your names pop up in here. So we will set a new date at some point because we still need to record some more episodes. So as soon as we get those dates locked down, we'll post them here in Discord and on
Yeah.
Patreon to let you all know.
Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.